Didn't make up a song yet.
Yeah. Eric Beatty's podcast.
Oh, with Amy. Didn't make up a song yet because Tyler was away. But here he is, playing the guitar while I share the post.
Quite a song, though.
Right, this is the opening song. This is it. Do you like it so far?
I do.
Oh, so we got a little more time. Don't give up yet. We got a few more seconds here. Perfect. Look at that. Kind of perfect. Hey, you're listening to the Big E Comedy Venture podcast. For those of you who don't know, my name is Eric Beatty. I'm a podcaster and Michigan area stand-up comic. I'm taking 2022 to travel around America with the goal of really exploring the country while also trying to perform comedy at least once in all 50 states. This podcast is a weekly show where I'll be sharing my experiences from being on the road throughout that crazy adventure. But because I can sometimes tend to ramble a bit and could use help reining in my stories, I have asked my good friend Amy to be my virtual co-host / sidekick for this wild ride. Hello, Amy.
What's going on?
Wow, I'm getting better, I think. No, I'm kidding. How's it going?
One of these days, you'll get through it all.
I know, right? How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm wearing my Michigan hoodie for those who don't know. And
yes.
in recognition of the team making it to the NCAA tournament, although I don't have high hopes for them, I would imagine. But I mean, I guess they could beat Colorado State. But
yeah. I always seem to be locked out of my Twitter account when I want to talk the most shit about Michigan because I really wanted to talk shit to all the Ohio State fans that follow me who said that maybe Juwan would be back in time to coach at the NIT. And I just,
Yeah. I will say this, not following them too much this year. I mean, I was not sure that they were going to make it to
me either. But the fact that they did makes me want to talk shit. It was very possible that they were going to be in the NIT, and especially with that meltdown that they had in the Big Ten tournament, which was unlike anything I've ever seen before. I couldn't even believe it.
Yeah.
Did you watch that game by any chance?
You know what? I didn't get a chance to because I was where I was.
You would have honestly probably had a heart attack.
Probably. Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah. And then also, by the way, not to be left out, Michigan hockey is in the Big Ten championship game on Saturday too, nice. By the way. So the obvious thing is that basically my point is that Michigan is a basketball and hockey school and not a football school. Dan, I don't know how, I don't know how to pronounce that. Is it? I always say Vote.
It's Vote.
Dan Vote. Anyway, yes. Here we are. I'm coming to you from I don't know how to pronounce it actually, but if anyone knows, it's called It's like the Outer Banks of North Carolina.
Oh, Outer Banks. I love the Outer Banks.
Dude, this place.
My friend Ashley got married there.
For real? Like, do you know like what city or where in it ish? Like,
well, like on the
like south of Kitty Hawk or
on Kitty Hawk Pier.
Really nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's dude. The sunset. Me and Tyler, which for people that don't know, our friend Tyler was gone for a week because he's had some family issues, and he came back yesterday. And the sunset yesterday where we were was, I don't know if I've seen a better sunset in my life, honestly. Like,
really?
I'm sure they're there. I'm sure like in Hawaii, but there was something about it. And what's cool, since you already are familiar with the Outer Banks, is like, it's a bizarre thing, almost like in Michigan, how it's the only place in the country you can go south to go to Detroit or to go to Canada.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like to me, like, I don't know how many places there are on the eastern seaboard here, but like the fact that the ocean is out here and the ocean is on the other side. It's not like a bay. You know what I mean? Like it is the ocean still.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. And it gets so thin that you're driving and it's like there's just water on both sides. And that's really cool, too.
Yeah, it's an awesome place.
Yeah, we're at this KOA. We're really roughing it here at the KOA with a full kitchen and bathroom.
We did a like wild horses are big there.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I saw that. I saw you can do like. Okay.
Yeah, it was really neat.
Did you ride them, or you mean like they're big in the sense that
No,
you
it
just run
takes
around?
you like around where all the wild horses are and stuff, and tells you like about like they're literally just these horses that are like
Really?
out walking, literally just live in the wild.
Son of a bitch! I don't know where
And
they.
I
I want to know where they are.
I was asking like what happens during like hurricanes and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like I got really sad about the horses, and they're like, let me tell
Right.
you, a human would be wise to follow the horses during a hurricane because
Like they know where to go and shit.
They know where to go, and they're totally fine, and it doesn't even.
Well, that makes sense. For one, they're animals. They've been doing it longer than we have. Like, well, I guess horses on this area, maybe not technically. I guess we probably brought them here. But the point is, like, it was like my brother would talk about when he lived in Montana. They would have to sometimes have like PSAs to not go put like blankets on like the buffalo and shit or whatever.
Oh my god!
And they're like, dude, these are animals. They live out here. I understand you're trying to be nice.
Yeah.
But they know what they're doing.
They're fine.
Like,
right. Exactly. Yeah.
And like in the Buffalo's case, they certainly have been there like for whenever. You know what I mean?
At least since the Oregon Trail.
Right. Well, yeah, exactly. Obviously. Oh my God. But anyway, so here we are in the Big E Comedy Venture. I left you last. We were in Myrtle Beach. We didn't do a lot in Myrtle Beach. I got to be honest. One, the weather was not good. I'm sure Michigan people will love hearing me complain about the weather, but it was cold and rainy. So there was that. And also, to be honest, it took a while to recover from the really ridiculous venture down to Orlando to watch that wrestling.
I see you still haven't fully gotten over that.
Not really, to be honest. That was a hell of a journey for sure. So we didn't do much, and it was odd because then, like I said, Tyler was gone, and I not that I have like one of these three that were like I'm closer to. I think going into it, I think I would have thought I was actually closer to Tyler, who left us for a week, and I think that I would have thought if there was a period that I had to stay with Scott for a whole week, that could have been quite contentious or weird or awkward.
Yeah.
I felt like if you had told me on this trip this early, often by the way, that I would have had to stay with one or the other, and it was Scott, I would have thought that's going to be a weird week. But it went okay in the end. Like it actually went much better than I thought. I think the wrestling did bond us in the end.
Yeah, yeah.
And so go ahead.
Did you have? I know you guys had that one little tiff in the car. Anything other than that while he was gone?
Yeah, there was another one. There was another one that came up. To be honest with you, we have again. I'm telling you, it's not even like I think we're just sometimes when you're too much of the same coin, it can be almost harder. You know what I mean? Because like you dig down and you have your opinion and you just will not almost understand why the other person won't just agree with you or something like that,
right.
And so I mean it was so simple. Dude, this was on the last day. We had just spent a week together and it went swimmingly. Like we got groceries, we made each other. I made he made the breakfasts. I made a lot of the dinners. We like shared food together. Great. We had the last 2 days. We were even in a one room little tight cabin. And it was so cold that we didn't really leave the cabin. And we were great. We really had good conversation and this and that. And we're sitting in the Taco Bell breakfast like an hour before we're supposed to take up Tyler. And again, if you had told me before, I'd have been like, wow, great job. And he brings up as a joke that there's a thing on, I don't know if you saw this, but there's a thing on Family Feud, I guess, either recently or something, where a girl is going up, they're going up to do the thing. And the girl's like, distract the guy. They're like, distract him. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So actually, I'm going to hear your take on this and see if I'm a moron. But, and so, yeah, for people who don't know, this girl like goes up and really, really spiritedly jumps up and down to let some, a few distractions get in the guy's way. And the guy definitely gets distracted. and then they show his wife, right? And me and Scott start talking about it. And he's full on like, dude, that's ridiculous, terribly disrespectful, blah, blah, blah. He goes, and I'm like, and we go on. And then he's like, I think that could be cause for divorce, flat out. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Divorce? Like, I get it. There's, listen, that. And I'm not going to go into like our argument.
I mean, did he grab her boobs and start making out with her?
But he barked at her?
Yeah, they do what?
I didn't see that.
Okay,
you know what? That might change my opinion. Okay. I didn't see that. He said he barked at her. Is that true? Did you see that, Amy?
I don't know if I saw that. I don't know that I watched the full thing though. I just saw like mind of it.
That changes my mind a little bit because I thought it was just all they were saying is, dude, he was staring at some tits, and the wife is like, if Scott is right, and he actually made animalistic sounds at her, and then I guess that's a little
don't
worse.
know. I mean,
I still want divorce. I still don't think it's divorceable.
I don't even know. It might be a little bit of a fight because it's on like national television, but I don't know that, look all you want. I mean, as long as you didn't,
let me ask you this though: if the barking, but if the sounds were, because I didn't hear that. I still don't think it's divorceable. I think it's way worse though. Like if it's like roof, but you're also on television. You went on the Family Feud.
Yeah,
you knew it was you're trying to be
something ridiculous and jumping up and down. Like I don't know that it's that big of a deal. It's certainly not divorce worthy.
That's where I stood, and it did not that did not go well. It ended with me going, look, I'm not changing my mind. We just gotta move on. But again, I think these are small things. I think more than likely, I'm someone who's very stubborn. I have my opinions. You have to really change my mind if you're going to change my mind.
Right.
And some of that I would tell these guys, I think really developed from the Detroit cast because it was me really a lot of times 1-on-2. And so I had to really come with it if I wanted to.
Yeah. You really had to dig your heels in.
But honestly, that was that. And within, I don't know, 10 minutes, it was done. We were, talking about something else and moved on. But so, oh man, twice I've burped through I'm drinking I'm having a little beverage here. So, hey, it's not as bad as what's my boy getting a blowjob while he was doing a phone or a TV interview. Did you see that?
No.
You didn't see this? I forget who he is. I have to look it up. There's this guy. I think he's a sports athlete or singer or something. And there was a daytime television show, and she was interviewing him from bed.
Oh my God.
Very clearly, it looks like he's getting a blowjob because there's a female. He's laying shirtless down, and at one point you see a female hand.
Oh my God, that's
up around his, around.
He was probably come suck the stick while I do this interview.
Yeah, hell yeah, I was. And she goes, whoa, I gotta ask, what's that hand there for? What's going on there and stuff? And it's he doesn't really address it. But
oh my God, that's funny.
Anyway. I'm trying to think of what, again, did I mention about the cougar that we had, the possible cougar situation that we had do you remember this at all?
An actual cougar or a woman? An
older lady that was next to us in Myrtle Beach.
I
don't know if I mentioned.
So.
Okay, so this was another situation we did have. We had this, this what I would describe as a cougar, next to us in our Myrtle Beach condo.
Okay.
And I was talking to her a little bit, and I was 100% dude, if I had gotten, the indication that something was going to go down. And she was 50. She was 51, and she's a travel nurse. And she was she was wild. She was a firecracker for sure. And we were talking to her, and we told her how we did comedy, and I contemplated. I didn't tell this to Scott, but I did. Although he's over in the other room now, but I contemplated. I bought some beer that I wasn't going to normally buy. I don't drink all the time on this trip by any means, but I bought some beer because she was drinking wine when we first met her, and she was talking to us and this and that. And so I bought some beer, and I was we were going to go do an open mic on that night, and we didn't have anything else the rest of the week. And I really was considering staying back and trying to
trying to close the deal,
trying to bump into, and I didn't even know what I was going to do because I wasn't going to knock on her door. I don't have that level of confidence. So I was just going to stand outside our little, how it works is, I don't know if you've ever seen some of these some of these travel condos. It's a thing where you have one door. It's a shared main door. And then you have A and B.
Yeah.
And then there's a laundry.
Right.
So she has her door, we have ours, and it's no one else can get into this little area.
Right.
So I mean, I was trying to get.
You were just gonna awkwardly stand in the shared area.
Yes, with a Bud Light, hoping that somehow showing that I was drinking and stuff, and God. Oh hey, want to come in?
You're
for a beer?
Purposely making a lot of noise.
Right, oh these. I was just gonna keep doing my laundry all night, just. And I was trying to convince myself, Amy, that this was the better decision than doing comedy. I really was. I was
well, I think for the story purpose, it probably would have been.
Yeah, but what if nothing happens? Is it really? Because I can still tell you now what my plan was.
Yeah, but you would have done something awkward in that. I mean, something uncomfortable would have happened.
Yeah, no,
For
I know.
sure.
And I will say, the only reason in the end, the only reason I didn't do it is I said, dude, you just did that big not extraction, like excursion down to Orlando.
Yeah.
We don't have it. And the other problem was we didn't know there was any more. Like I feverishly looked for more comedy that week. Even like there was like a Facebook page like, hey, is there any more open mics this week? So I could because we found out that she was staying there long term, but she wasn't going to be there the next 2 nights. It's a weird deal. She's like a travel nurse, so she's going on job interviews, so she wasn't going to probably be there the next 2 nights. So it was like this was the night. You know what I mean? So anyway, like I just in the end, I said, you know what, dude, you are on this trip to do comedy and stuff, and you should do it. Scott was going to do it anyway. And I did it.
So funny.
And luckily it went very well. Like I had a really good set that night in the end. So that's good. I was seriously considering.
Should have knocked on her door and asked if she wanted to go.
Where were you, Amy, when this was going down?
You didn't text me or snap me, or else I would have told you.
Right. So, that was, but I like legit had a thought process in my mind of not going out to do comedy. And like like I said, I would never have knocked on the door. I don't care if you got me 10 beers in, I'm not knocking on that door. I'm weird about that. So I would have just with the hope that somehow she'd eventually walk out.
Awkward. Oh my God.
So I'm trying to think. There was that. We stayed in these cabins, which was crazy. This little cabin, which was kind of crazy. Just the 2 of us in this little, very small, and it was cold as shit in the end. It was like down to 30. I know, right? Cold.
Oh man, that sucks. That is cold to sleep outside.
Well, we were in a cabin and had a little heater.
Okay.
But I will say this, dude, the heater was good. It got cold enough the second night that because I didn't even have because most of the night it was the heater was doing a good job, so I didn't have a hoodie or anything. And then it was so cold at one point that I was like, but I didn't want to go out and get a hoodie because your hoodie's already cold because it's in the car and stuff. So I'm trying to think. Yeah. What do we got going on? I'm trying to think in my mind what else we got.
What are you doing? What are you doing in the Outer Banks? Do you want to hear a funny Outer Banks story about when I was there?
Yes.
Because it involves karaoke.
Oh, wow, nice.
Karaoke.
We do karaoke.
Go ahead. I went to Outer Banks with my friend Ashley in college, and it's very laid back, like country. I would say, like, if you're gonna go karaokeing, like you're probably getting like country songs, Billy Joel. Like it's not like it's like an urban karaoke place.
Right.
So very laid back, whatever. So we decided to go to this karaoke bar. It's like this hole in the wall. It's all locals.
Yeah.
We're all dressed up, like way too dressed up. And then my friend.
By the way, of course, you and your friend have the most white fucking weddings of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, Kitty Hawk, North Carolina.
Well, hey, she did marry a black guy, so
that's true.
It wasn't quite as white as my wedding.
That's true.
But so she is like, I don't know if you know the song Maya, Case of the X, but it is like an R&B
I know Maya,
song.
but I don't know the song. What is it?
It's a Case of the X is what it's called.
Okay.
And it's a very it's a talking song. Like she's talking a lot in it. It's not really singing. And it's just a very awkward song to even karaoke to begin with.
Yeah.
Then on top of it, to be in this hole in the wall where they're like, what the fuck are these 2 people doing? They're way overdressed. Right. They're singing like an R&B song in our country bar. I was like, I have never been more embarrassed.
And you sang?
She was like, you have to come up there with me and be my backup singer. And I literally, I was crying laughing so hard the entire time because she was so into it. You have to listen to the song to get the idea. But
gotcha.
It was
I'll listen.
very painful.
That's hilarious. No, that's
very
funny.
Painful.
I love karaoke, but I'm not I'm not great at it, but I do love it. Karaoke is an interesting thing because you're right. You never know fully what the setting or mood or how people are going to react. Yeah, you kind of have
to read the room. One time when we were on a cruise, we always go to karaoke. That's like the funnest room on a cruise, if you ask me.
For sure.
And so we would go every night. And there was this one girl on one of our cruises who brought her own karaoke CD. So it had her own songs on it.
Yeah.
And she was singing like a Carrie Underwood song or Taylor Swift song. But and like where they reference a car, she like changed it to like a Cadillac or something.
Yeah.
Like it was so.
Dude, her own. I will say this: when I do karaoke, I will do lyrical changes sometimes. Like I have a Bowling for Soup song I do called Ohio, and at the end they do these things like where they talk about it doesn't matter. They do these things where they say like they're listing all these people that are like wanting this girl to come back to Texas, like oh, the Bush twins want you back, and I always bring Pat Green in there. I always hit a Pat Green in there. I do change
Pat Green.
Oh yeah. I always tell people like, oh, I'm bringing a little Texas country to wherever I am or shit like that. But I'm trying. Oh, so here's a funny story. I will say, not like the most humorous story, but like I'm very competitive. You know what I mean? And I consider myself rather athletic. And we had to kill some time the one day because we had to check out of our one place at 10, and we couldn't check into the KOA until like 3 or 4. And me and Scott decided to go bowling. And he was like, yeah, I can actually kind of bowl. And I'm like, okay, that's nice, blah, blah, blah. But I always thought I was pretty good. I used to, I've kind of bowled a few 200 games in my day and stuff. And so, I'm very competitive, and he is too. But he's not as into a lot of sports like I am and whatnot. And we go bowling, and we decided like, we got 2 hours all you could bowl. And it was like, whoever loses the most whoever loses the most games or whatever has to like unload the car, at the campground, right? And honestly, I thought I was going to win every game. I wasn't talking like that. I'm not a guy who brags. I usually like to just do it. But I was all prepared to do the, oh no, you're pretty good, and no, seriously, that was close. It's not. You know what I mean? Those things you do when you're like trying to be nice, but you're kicking ass. And he ends up fucking beating me in the first 2 games. And and with good scores, by the way. It wasn't like it was like 80 to, whatever. Like it was like 140s, 150s or whatever. And he ends up beating me in general overall, 3 games to 2. And it was fucking humiliating. Like I have literally my own Simpsons bowling ball at home with my own shoes.
Maybe that's why you didn't do well.
I did try to blame it on that, having said that. But it was like, that was kind of funny because of the sense, like I said, I had all the things in my head ready to be like, because I thought I was going to dominate, to be honest with you. And so I was preparing myself, for those like, no, this is still fun. And almost like having to maybe not throw a game.
So pissed.
Oh, I was not happy. And let me do this. There's not much more to say, honestly, because it's just been a short kind of week. But I'm gonna end with this little story. So it was a bowling alley where they didn't have tables right down on the like your little area. Sometimes they do and sometimes they don't, right? And this was one of these ones that had just like a back whole bar where you're supposed to just put your drinks or something on the back and not bring them up by the lane, right?
Yeah.
And we had some waters, and but we were right in the middle where there was like the front desk. So we didn't have like a thing. We had to walk a few steps over, and I didn't want to do it. So I put my water like under my seat, and eventually I spilled it, and it was right with the pitcher. And so I was like, okay, I'll take this pitcher and then I'll do this thing. And I told Scott, like, oh, I'll clean this up after or something. I want to take this picture first. And this dude next to us with his wife, I mean, they were like, these guys were on the pro tour or some shit. Like, you know what I mean? They had like 2 of their own balls, the glove, all that shit.
Oh my God.
And he comes over like, you got to clean that up right now. That's very dangerous. And I'm like, he is right, by the way.
Jesus.
He's right.
Yeah.
But by the way, it was underneath the seats. It was not like really, it did need to be cleaned up. No question.
Right.
But it was not like immediate danger. Yeah. And I told him, okay. And I go up and get a towel. And they're like, if it ended there, I'd have been like, okay, whatever. Just, he's a big time bowler and he does. But he ended up, apparently, my friend Scott said he walked over to the other people across from us. Like, we're here. And he walked over to other people to let them know that I had spilled some water.
My God.
And that dude is like literally there with his wife and like a 6-year-old daughter. And he's just like, I guess, whatever, man. Because like it wasn't like it was in the
people like that.
It wasn't even like it was in like the bowling lane or
Right.
like it wasn't going to be endangered at all. Did it need to be
Right.
cleaned up? Yes.
Yeah, right.
But it was not going to be in the
I hate people like that.
It's
Did
like,
I tell you this story about when I was on vacation and the guy said something to this girl about kicking sand on him on the beach?
No.
So I'm sitting there and I'm getting my hair braided, and this 16-year-old girl walks up, who she actually happened to be from Michigan, I found out.
Nice.
And so she's like looking to get her hair braided.
Yeah.
She's 16. Okay. So she's a teenager.
Right.
And this guy who's probably in his 40s, he comes storming up and he's like, "Excuse me, you walked by me and you are walking with your flip-flops on and you got sand on me."
What? On the beach.
On the fucking beach. I looked at him and
this
I was
is Mexico.
Like,
was this just recently?
Mexico.
You're
Yes.
in Mexico on
You're in Mexico on the fucking beach. You followed.
How old do you think he was?
He was in his 40s, early 40s, late
That's
30s.
even worse, dude. If you're like an 8-year-old who for some reason you're just pissed off at the rest of your life or something.
So she was like taken aback. Like so I looked at him and I was like, "You're on a fucking beach, dude. Don't come to the beach if you don't want to get sand on you." And he looks at me and he was like, "Yeah, well, of course I'm going to say something."
Yeah, no,
and
good for you.
He was like, "I came up and I asked nicely." I was like, "No, you didn't ask nicely.
And by the way,
up.
Why would you even have to ask? Why would you have to say?
Yeah, and he was like, "And you know what? Everyone else is walking around barefoot. I don't see why she can't walk around barefoot when she flops sand on everybody." And I was like, "Dude." So he was also sitting on the corner of the walkway. So like there was a walkway of sand, and he's sitting right on the corner. So it's like you're sitting where people walk by. So I was like, "You're an asshole." And he left and he was like, so like we were kind of yelling at each other. So then I walked by him again on my way back, made sure to flick sand at him as I was walking. I was super dramatic about it.
Hilarious.
And I was like, "Dude, just so you know, like you're a dick and you're on vacation. Like don't come to the beach if you're going to be a dick about the sand." So then I kind of felt bad. I was like, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have done that.
No, you should have.
And then the mom came up to me and she was like, "My daughter told me what you did, and I just wanted to thank you for sticking up for her." Like she was really taken aback. She didn't know how to respond, and I just really appreciate it. And I was like, absolutely. Like that guy was a fucking asshole.
I'm going to say something real quick. I know I wasn't planning this, but dude, this battery went faster than I thought. I had an issue with my iPad. I thought it was charged. It wasn't. So it's down to about 4%. But having said that, I still want to tell this story. So I'm gonna make my plug for my Venmo, and then I want to tell the story that we've talked about in the other show, but you remind me of that. I wanted to tell you guys. And by the way, we had two people this week give us money, dude. So $150 between two people this week raised. It was really, really cool. I understand that people, it's a tough deal. Gas, fucking Christ, is up the ass right now.
Insane.
And I'm not.
How much is it where you're at?
Same where you are, probably 4-ish, okay. 4. And I'm not making a plea for us. I'm not saying that like, oh, gas is up, so give us money. I mean, like, I get that people, dude, everyone's having problems right now. So no big deal. If you can't, help us out, that's not a big deal. Maybe I just would ask if you could please share our videos that we do put out there, or go to our Facebook page or YouTube page, 2 Hippies, 1 Drunk, and subscribe, or go to like these shows on iTunes and give them 5 stars. If you somehow feel generous enough to give some money and help us out, the Venmo is Eric, ERIC, Fady, F as in Frank, because most people think it's Sadie, FADIE. It's Cash App too, and you can also text me 248-935-9241. Like I said, we do all these shows and they are free, and I'm never going to ask for or never going to demand money, but certainly can help, and it's incredible how many people have already given. But when you told that story, I did want to say this. We'd already talked this on the other one, but I wanted to tell you just in case you hadn't heard it. When we were in Key West, we had a situation, not like yours exactly, but like we were in this bar where it was like, it's called Sloppy Joe's. Apparently it's very famous, where what's his name? The writer, now all of a sudden I can't think of it. Hemingway used to always go there and get shitty.
Oh,
I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
And stuff. Anyway, it's like seat yourself. They don't have a host. It's a Saturday night. It's just you sit down, they come to you, right? And it's busy. It was a busy time. So we finally find some people that they're starting to do the check thing, right? They're cashing out their check. 3 of us walk up to this table, and we're not trying to be douchebags. We're like hanging back a little bit, and 3 of us are standing there. And all of a sudden I see this dude, big old fat guy, by the way, come waddling up. and he stands like between me and my other buddy. And I go, this motherfucker is about to pretend he was standing here. And so my other friend does see it and kind of says, hey guys, I don't want to hurry or anything, but are you get going, or we don't want to rush you or anything, but we're just wondering. So we, whatever. And they're like, oh no, go ahead. We're almost done. You can have it. Right. And then this dude just fucking sits down. Oh, fuck, man. Jesus Christ.
What?
I just, fuck. I just found, I've had a few people die in my life recently. And I just found out another one just dead.
Oh no. Friend, family?
Yeah. So Samantha, who I don't know if she'd want me to say this, but who I've been officiated her wedding. I've known her for 16.
Yep.
Her mom just died. Fuck.
Aw, I'm sorry to hear that.
Fuck, man. I just had a friend kill himself too recently, by the way. Christ.
You did?
Yes. An EDM friend from the Turtle family that the Detroit cast people will know. Fuck, man. Anyway, sorry. I'm gonna finish the story anyway. That's rough. I'm gonna be a professional. So this dude starts to sit down, and we're sorry, we're like, yo, dude, no, we sat there. We were here. And he's like, no, I was waiting. He's like, no, you weren't. He's like, blah, blah, blah. No, you weren't. He goes, well, my wife's already on her way. We're like, so we were sitting here.
Yeah.
And we all get in with him. We're all people like, honestly, it's not worth it, but like, to really fight him on it. But we say things to him. And I finally walk away. I'm so mad. Mm-hmm. And then my friends keep saying more stuff to him. And then I walked back around and said, you were fucking wrong, by the way. Just FYI, no big deal, but you were fucking wrong. And he goes, blah, blah, blah. We sit down. We end up finding a nicer table, actually. Yeah, we got lucky. We found a nicer table. And in the end, when we walked back, Tyler had to like go to the bathroom, but me and Scott walked back together. And Scott called him like a fat fucking, I don't know what he called him exactly, like a cunt or something, or a piece of shit. He's like, what? A fat. I was right. It was cunt. Fat cunt.
Oh my god.
And we start standing out a little bit by the door, and he's like, and like that fucking. I told Scott, like, I almost leaned in and said something again. He's like, well, I did, so I don't really want to stand right here by the door. Let's walk away a little bit and wait for Tyler. But it's like, it just reminded me of your situation, Amy. Like,
yeah,
like, dude, this dude, motherfucking 100%. Or 3 people waiting for a table and just tried to fucking sit there and do it. It's like, anyway.
Yeah.
Woo! Sorry for the people listening and shit like that. I apologize for me having a weird moment there at the end. That's all
right.
Holy fuck, that's really shitty. Honestly, I don't know what this. I don't know what to say it, dude. I'm kind of crying a little bit right now because her mom meant a fucking lot to me. Holy shit. Holy shit. Anyway, thank you guys.
Well, we'll wrap it up then, and we will be back with you next week.
Right. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. Yes. I appreciate it. Bye.